Hello and welcome to Master Auto Reviews. The electric vehicle landscape is changing as we speak, with multiple new vehicle launches, ever-increasing range, charging speed and overall driving refinement. On the other side, the purchase price of electric vehicles did not decrease significantly in order to make them financially appealing unless substantial governmental subsidies are included. So stay tuned for a short and simple comparison of the most affordable EVs in Europe. Renault, through its Dacia brand, has just announced it will open up the books for the pre-order of the most affordable EV in Europe, the Dacia Spring. Renault applied the same philosophy as it did for the other models in the Dacia lineup. As much car as possible for the lowest amount of money. With its retail price starting at 17,000 euros in France, it surely hit the price target. The closest competitor of the soon-to-be available Dacia Spring is the VW e-Up. This smart city EV was launched in 2016 and went through a significant technical refresh in 2019. It delivers everything you'd want from the driving dynamics and range perspective, but definitely not a people carrier. Its price is low for an EV, but starting at 23,700 euros, it is far more expensive than the Spring. So let's get on with the comparison. Weight and size. The Dacia Spring is 13 cm longer than the VW e-Up, but surprisingly it is also 6.6 cm narrower. Both cars have roughly the same wheelbase of 2.4 meters. The Spring has 39 liters for trunk volume, with the back seats raised. Since many buyers will use the Spring and the e-Up as last-mile delivery vehicles, the cargo volume with the rear seats lowered is rather important. The Spring can fit up to 620 liters worth of cargo, while the e-Up fits up to 959 liters. There is a significant difference here, but it is linked to how the measurement was done. The cargo capacity of the Spring was measured up to the height of the seats, while I assume the cargo capacity of the e-Up was measured up to the roof. The Spring has a slightly higher ground clearance of 15.1 centimeters, while the e-Up sits lower at 13.5 centimeters. Due to the bigger battery, the e-Up is 190 kilograms heavier than the Spring. Although longer, the Dacia Spring has a smaller turning circle of 9.6 meters, while the e-Up can turn inside a 9.8 meter circle. Battery and charging. Since its facelift in 2019, the e-Up was fitted with a 32.3 kWh battery. The Dacia Spring has a smaller battery with a net capacity of 27.3 kWh. In order to save costs, neither one of the two affordable EVs uses a 400-volt propulsion system. The Spring uses a 240-volt system, while the e-Up a 307-volt system. There are some significant differences between the two when it comes to charging capabilities. When it comes to AC charging, the Spring has the upper hand, being able to charge with a maximum of 7.4 kilowatts, while the e-Up can only charge with 2.3 kilowatts. This leads to a 0 to 100% charge time of 5 hours for the Spring and a 16-hour charge time for the e-Up. The Spring can only charge with 30 kilowatts when using a DC charger, while the e-Up can charge with a maximum of 50 kilowatts. This leads to a 0 to 100 charging time of 1.5 hours for the Spring and 1 hour for the e-Up. Both EVs use a CCS charging connector. Performance and efficiency. Now here is where the real differences are. The VW e-Up uses a decently powered e-motor with 61 kilowatts or 83 horsepower, while the Dacia Spring is equipped with a significantly weaker motor producing 33 kilowatts or 44 horsepower. Same story when it comes to torque, a respectable 212 Nm for the e-Up and a significantly lower 125 Nm for the Spring. Although there is such a big power and torque difference, their maximum speed is not that different. 125 km per hour for the Spring and 130 km per hour for the e-Up. When it comes to acceleration, there is a night and day difference between the two. A respectable 11.9 seconds from 0 to 100 km per hour for the e-Up and a 1950s era 19.1 seconds for the Spring. No data on the aerodynamic properties of the Spring was released, while the e-Up has a drag coefficient of 0.3. As expected, the bigger battery e-Up has a better range of 260 km under the WLTP test cycle, while the Spring can do a respectable 230 km. There is a slight efficiency advantage for the Spring with a 11.9 kWh per 100 km, but the e-Up is close with 12.4 kWh per 100 km. I am excited to see more and more of these small and affordable EVs become available, at least in the European market. You certainly have to make compromises in order to be able to live with such an EV, but as long as you use it for what it was made for, it should be not that hard. The total cost of ownership when taking into account all subsidies granted across the whole of Europe is already lower than the cost of ownership of comparable internal combustion engine powered vehicles. So what do you think? Will the Dacia Spring be a success in Europe? Will it at least match the sales of the e-up? Let me know what you think in the comment section below.